Well, hello there. We're going to be starting video number 2 here on the wood frame shed that we're going to be doing. And so we started out with just this wall. You can see to my right, to your left over there, is that wall there in the background that is in yellow is here on paper. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a real simple door opening. Okay. And we're actually not going to focus too much on dimensions in this video. So I'm just going to do a basic opening, assuming that maybe I'm going to build my own door, or I have my own plan for how I'm going to cover that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our door. I'm going to go ahead and illustrate something for you real quick. So if you were to have done what I did in video 1, and I tried to demonstrate in the video the different view options. You see over here on the left, you can switch between perspective and orthographic. And I'm in orthographic view right now. And so if I were to change that right now, look at that. It's like I'm hovering over it. It's like I'm floating in the air over top that. And I think I tried to illustrate that a little bit in the first video, but it's become so much more obvious now that we're dealing with some more height. All right. And so it'd be very difficult to line things up and to tell that this board on top here is actually bigger than, or is the same as the board there at the bottom. We can tell because our brain kind of tricks us in perspective to knowing that that's closer to us and that's further away. But we're wanting to make sure everything lines up correctly and not have to rely on our eye to tell that. So I'm going to switch to orthographic view, and you can see it doesn't matter where I am viewing it from, that it's going to show. Now, if I'm viewing at an angle, yeah, it's gonna look a little weird. But when I'm using these, like say top, right, left views, orthographic is going to be so much better for us. All right, first thing you want to do is go ahead and highlight it, the whole thing. Remember, these are still separate pieces. So if I were to click and drag just a single piece, I have all these other pieces left behind. Oh, looks like I have a duplicate there. Oh, wow. That was a interesting surprise. So I'll delete that. I don't need that. So yeah, that's what should have happened. I'll undo by doing Control Z. So again, I'll highlight the whole thing and then click duplicate. And then I'm just going to use my arrow keys and I'm just going to push it over. Now I'm not going to go left and right. I'm just going to go push it up and down because I'm going to use this wall on the other side. Okay. And so it'll probably end up being around there. I might need to move it when I'm done to get in the right spot. I'll go ahead and highlight this and then duplicate it as well. Duplicate. And then I'm going to change the angle of it to say 90 degrees. And now I'm just going to click and drag and I'm going to butt it up against this wall right here. Oh, you know what? But before I do that, oh no, it's still all selected, so we're good. I'm going to change the color of it to, I don't know, how about this like brownish color? Yeah, that's cool. All right, I'll highlight this one right here. I'm going to move it like right there. Perfect. So that's how my walls are going to kind of butt up to each other. All right. And you know what? Actually, I wanted this wall, I wanted that half stud or that half distance kind of thing off on the other side. So let me highlight just that one. And so if I go to there, it should highlight. Yep. And so then I'm going to rotate again. Ooh, right here. If I just type in 180 and push enter, it rotated. Yep. So now that like stud that's closer is over there. All right, let me go to the front view and zoom in a little bit here for you all to see. All right, now on my paper, I have that little half stud is on the right. So that I keep calling it half stud. The stud that is closest to the end stud is off to the right, and so I want it to match what I have on paper. So if I count, I have that one, and then this one is in the same spot. So the 3 on the right are going to stay where they're at. The one all the way to the left, I'm going to keep it where it's at. And then the second one, it stays where it's at. The third one, this one gets moved over. Now, I'm not exactly sure where it gets moved over to. Did I duplicate this again? There's like an extra of each in there. That would be weird. Yeah, there is. Oh my goodness. So I'll just select. Okay, there isn't of that. I bet I did that when I built the thing. There's like duplicates hidden in there. Okay. There's a hiding one. Is there one in here? Yep, there's a hiding one. Is there one in here? Yep. I must have hit duplicate. Yep. How about this one? Yep. Okay. How about the bottom plate? No. Oh, yep. Yep. Okay. I bet that happened to this one over here too. Do I have a duplicate in it? Yeah, I do. It's okay. It's not going to make a difference. All right. So what I was about to say was that these 3 on the left, this one of course stays where it is. That one stay where they're at, and then this one is going to have to move. So I'm going to move it over. I don't know exactly yet how close it needs to be. I'm going to get rid of this one, and then that one stays right where it is. So actually that looks pretty darn close. I think this one was only 2 inches. Yeah, I think that's exactly where it's supposed to go. So like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on scale and the measurement, and really just kind of give you an idea of how we might frame a door. So we would say, okay, well, we want this door here, and now I need to add a header, and I also need to add some trimmers and maybe some stuff for framing in the door. All right, so the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click that one. I'm going to say duplicate. Don't use your arrow keys on this part. You're going to need to click that little cone and drag it up, and we'll figure out. Now the way that I'm going to do this one is I'm actually going to, let's change this distance here to like 2.5. Yeah. And I think 2.5 is probably decent for a door. 2.5 inches in 2.5. Well, that would be 32 plus 8. That's like 40 inches. So I think that's like a 40-inch opening. I think, if I did the math right. And so I think that's about the width that I want. So I'll go ahead and bring this guy in to where it should go. There we go. Okay. And now I want to have some 2x6s as my, I got to get the height right as well. I'm going to say I want the height to be 80 inches. So what's 80 over 16? 8, because 16th is an inch, so it's 5 feet. Okay. So I'm going to have it. So if I push D, it's at the bottom. Then if I click this little cone, not the rotate part. If I click this little cone, you'll notice it's measuring from the ground right here. So I'll say 5 feet is not 5 inches. 5 feet, I would need to take that, no, I need it more than 5 feet. 80 inches and 16ths. I already did the conversion. So I think that I want it to be a little bit higher than that, though. I think that's about where it's supposed to be, 5.5, to be honest. I can always go to my paper, and actually that's probably what you should do if you have a paper, and just measure it and then put in the dimensions that you have on your paper here on this on the program. All right, so let's view it face on. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this guy. So I got this one selected. I'll duplicate it. I'm going to pull it up just a little bit so I can work with it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and then change my angle. And I want to change its orientation by 90 degrees, just like that. Okay, looking good so far. Now, if a 2x4, remember each 16th represents a real inch. If a 2x4 is 1/4, which is 4/16, then a 2x6 would be, I'm just going to go like that, would be 3/8. Okay. So that's a 2x6. And the reason I'm using a 2x6 like that is it's going to be much stronger in that orientation. Okay. And so then I have a 2x4 like this. I'm going to duplicate it, and I should have a 2x4 right, or 2x6 like this as well. So you have those two 2x6s butted up against each other, and they're going to be strong that way. Now, if I ended up with a lot higher, a lot more room between the header and the top plate, then I might use some cripple studs, some small studs to put them in there. But it looks like it's almost exactly a 2x4 width. So I'll actually just duplicate this and then bring it up there. And look at that, it fits almost exactly. It actually does fit exactly. So that's how I would probably frame it on the job site, since it's going to have to transfer the weight from this top plate down into that header. And notice that right now that header's not resting. That header is on this 2x4 right here. We have right here as part of the framing for the door. But we want it to, that would be nailed in from the other side of this stud. But we don't want nails holding the weight. We want the wood to be holding the weight. So we want to actually put in some trimmers. And the trimmers are basically just studs. So I'll duplicate this stud. I'll move it over. And then I need to change the dimension so that it goes, hey, come on now. There we go. So it goes right to the bottom of that piece right there. So I'll zoom in and you can see. Yeah. So now the weight is going to transfer down into this trimmer piece all the way down to that sole plate. If I get a front on view, perfect. I'll duplicate that so I have another trimmer on the other side. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now you have your door opening. All right, so I have a good amount of wood that I can use here to secure my door frame to at the top and on the sides. And then actually I'll probably at the end cut this part of the sole plate out. But I'll leave it there while I'm doing my construction on the building, since I don't need to take it out of there until I put my door on. But that's pretty much it, guys, for this video. Again, dimensions are all going to depend on the size of the door that you're using, and so where you put it in here and how you do it. Is going to really depend upon what you're using. It looks like I'm maybe not quite on center with where my door is, so I might need to change my plan a little bit. The one thing that you would not really want to do, though, is notice that I could, if I was lazy, if I was framing this, I could just move this whole thing over like that. The problem there is that now I don't have them like 16 on center. It probably would be fine if I did that, actually. So I probably could do that, move the door to exactly where I needed it, just as long as I didn't end up with a gap that was greater than 16 inches between my studs, then that would compromise the strength of the building. All right. So that's pretty much it, guys, for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. That should be where it was. Yep. And in the next one, I will go ahead and do the window wall, and then we will probably put some rafters up that we can attach a roof to. And I'll probably just do a basic, very simple, just pitched roof without any kind of gable or anything like that. And then I'll also show you how we might add some additional pieces. Like you might want it to add an additional stud in here. I'll just show you that now as a preview, to where I would like duplicate that and then maybe spin it around 90 and then have it, you know, like right there. Something like that, right? So yeah, so there's some additional pieces you might put. I've heard somebody call that like a California corner, to put that stud kind of another direction like that and put it on there like that. And yeah, I'll talk about why we did that in the next video, or maybe I'll save that kind of stuff for some of the like little tips and tricks at the end. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.